I'm Mary Magdalene, and I greet you all with much love. And I do hope that you can all hear me with the rain in the background being so loud. But I'll ask the channel to speak a little bit louder than she normally would. So I invite each and every one of you to take a deep breath and to take a moment to clarify within yourself, what brings me here today? What am I here for? What am I seeking? What am I looking for? What am I longing for? And focus on finding clarity regarding what it is that you want. And maybe you're simply curious. Maybe you're simply very open-minded and very open-hearted and just ready for a new or a different experience. And that is wonderful as well. And yet again, I ask you to ask yourself, where am I today on my journey of love, relating, dating, and connecting? And what questions naturally arise from your heart when these life areas are being mentioned? Some of you might be curious about today's title. What is dating to you? In my eyes, Mary's eyes, that can be anything from making an effort to meet a new person, to meet the right person, to meet someone to be with, to being 5 years into a relationship and keeping the connection alive and keeping the spark going. It can be absolutely anything in between either of these two situations. And what do I mean by magnetizing? Simply being magnetic, being radiant, being attractive, being ready. You can either attract your partner or your future partner or your potential partner or potential partners, or you can repel them. If you're currently by yourself but you'd wish to be with someone, then we'd like to work on your magnetism. So you draw them in, so you invite them in. It's like the flower and the bee. It's like the plus and minus pole on a magnet. It's about polarity. It's about attraction. So you could ask yourself, what could make me more attractive on an energy level, on any level, on a soul level? What makes me magnetic? And that magnetism is relevant whether you're on your own, but open to or willing to or longing to be with someone, or whether you're with someone. Especially when you're with someone, you'd want to be magnetic to them at least some of the time. The last thing you'd want would be to have attracted them, to be right into them, and then to repel them. So how to maintain that magnetism can be some of today's talk as well. So let's get started. I invite you now to imagine the perfect sunset. You might want to close your eyes for that. You might want to sit in a comfortable position. You might want to breathe in any particular way. You might visualize that perfect sunset. Maybe it's at a beach where you've been on a holiday to. Maybe it's a sunset you've just seen a few days ago and it was really, really beautiful and you still remember it. Perhaps it's a sunset you wanted to see for a very long time. Perhaps it's a sunset you've often had in your fantasies when you are dreaming about you and your perfect mate being in the perfect place, looking into the sunset together. And perhaps you can't relate to sunsets very well at all. Perhaps you don't like them much. Perhaps they don't interest you. Perhaps they've just not been on your mind lately. Perhaps the country you live in is so cloudy and rainy that the last thing you can imagine is a sunset. But wherever you're at, give it a go. Imagine that sunset. And now imagine yourself there with a partner. Perhaps with the partner who's currently in your life. Perhaps imagine, just for a moment, someone there as your partner who you currently have a crush on. Perhaps imagine yourself there with your ideal dream partner who you've tried to magnetize into your life for quite some time. Just get into the feeling of there you are in the sunset with your partner. And then take a deep breath and change scenes. Now you're there just by yourself, no partner in sight. You're all alone. It's the dream beach, dream sunset. Nobody there, not even your dog, not even the neighbour's cat. Nobody's there, just you and that sunset. Now switch back and forth between the two for a few seconds. And I'm Mary Magdalene, and the reason I'm taking you there is to share an observation with all of you. One thing I've witnessed about the human mind is so many of you, when you're in that beautiful sunset, it's perfect, it's the picture perfect sunset. There you are, you get a bit of space to yourself, alone in nature. Your mind tells you it can't enjoy it because you're alone and you're longing and craving for that ideal partner who isn't there. And you wreck that moment to yourself because you're alone, because you're craving for the partner, because you're longing for the partner, because you're agonizing the fact that something is supposedly not right in your life. And you're in the sunset praying, I want to meet my perfect mate. I want to meet them so badly. I cannot wait. I cannot enjoy this until they're there. Some people are as extreme as feeling, my life only begins when my perfect mate is there. My life only begins once I have children, once I've got family. And they overlook the sunset. Some of them wear sunglasses. Some of them close their eyes and look away. Some of them start crying. Some of them go into the hotel room because they can't bear that loneliness. Or there you are with your partner. Finally that prayer has been answered. But something wasn't right. You had an argument over dinner. And it's been the same old drag again. And you see 159 aspects of them that are wrong, that are plainly not okay, that are blatantly not good enough for you. And then there you are in the sunset, and you're thinking, what am I doing here with this person? I wish I was by myself. Or I wish I was with that gorgeous, delicious person who sat opposite me at the breakfast table this morning. But I certainly don't want to be here now with my mate who let me down again. 159 aspects of them are not quite all right. And again, that sunset just does not do it for you. So that's one of the conditions of the human mind. So my first suggestion to all of you wanting to be magnetic to your partner, whether they're already in your life or not, is embrace that sunset by yourself or with your partner, whether you've argued with them beforehand or not, whether everything is perfect in your life or not. Say yes to that moment. And notice that a lot of the time you want what you haven't got. A lot of the time you're in the state of never-ending imperfection. And your ego is here to want. It's the ego's job to want stuff. The ego is designed to want something different. The ego is designed to want more and more and more. The ego is designed to only want your ice cream if there's a cherry on top. It's quite fun for all of us ascended masters and angels and all of us beings who are in charge of delivering prayers and listening to prayers and in charge of giving God, the goddess, the divine, the creator, however you want to call this being, a hand. So here we are, and it's our job to take care of many, many prayers of all these wonderful humans out there. And what we're witnessing is there is a bunch of people praying so hard, God, goddess, however everyone calls this divine being. Please help me to find him. Please help me to find her. And then a year later, the same people are there again praying, God, help me to get rid of them. And that's what we'd like to bring to your awareness. So we're here to lovingly and gently ask you, what are you here for? And what do you want? And how may we, all the angels, all the ascended masters, how may we truly, truly serve you? Surely we can do more than delivering them to your doorstep today and removing them a year later. Surely there's more to this process called life than that. And Mary Magdalene, and again I'd like to invite you to love what you've got and to say yes to each and every moment you're experiencing, and to know that whether you were conscious of it or not, you've magnetized and manifested what you've got and what you are currently experiencing. If you're in that sunset on your own, that's what you're creating. If you're in that sunset with your partner, that's what you're creating. And if you're sitting in the rain and there hasn't been a sunset in a long time, that's what you're creating as well. So a beautiful aspect of that is that you can take full responsibility for your creation. You do resonate with what you have created. You're magnetic to what it is you have created. Otherwise it would not be here in your existence, in your life, right here, right now. So once you've taken full responsibility for that on a conscious level, then you can move forward and manifest and create some more. The moment you're experiencing absence of resistance, that's when you're in the flow. That's when life can happen effortlessly and with ease. If you're in the sunset complaining that you've got the wrong partner or no partner, or that they've got 159 things wrong with them, or maybe just 59 things wrong with them, then you're in resistance. The more resistance you've got, the more you get stuck. And the more stuck you are, the less change transformation you're experiencing. And then you might wonder, why is it the same old every day? Why is there no improvement in my life? I'm trying so much, I'm working so hard. And we would say it's because you're in resistance. So we'd like to ask you to breathe out some of that resistance, to drop some of that resistance, and to consider the possibility of saying yes to everything that's going on in your life right now. Yes to whatever it is. Maybe you're divorced and you really didn't want to be divorced. Yes to that. Maybe you're on your own and you really don't want to be. Yes to that. Maybe you meet a lot of potential partners, but none of them are quite right. Yes to that. Maybe you've put so much effort into manifesting someone, magnetizing someone, finally they're in your life, but they're so hard work. They're so annoying. They're so irritating. Yes to that. Embrace the learning you're receiving from that experience on a soul level. We always say the soul doesn't care about having fun, having a lovely time. The soul loves it when that happens and says, yes, and I want more of that. But the soul mostly cares about growth. What you're currently experiencing in your life is assisting you to grow. Otherwise, it would not be there. The more you say yes to your growth, the quicker you can shift the aspects you'd rather see being different. It is as simple as that. You do flow towards whatever is vibrating in your frequency. So if there's a lot around you that you'd rather wish it was different, it's a direct response to what you've been putting out. So we'd suggest brush that frequency and clean up your vibration. It's very much like having an energetic shower. In order to do that, we'd like to ask you, please get clear on what you really, really want. What do you really want? There are 3 main energy centers in the body. Some of us call them the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power. Let's say the flame of love was in your heart, the flame of wisdom was between your eyebrows, and the flame of power was just below your belly button. These are 3 very magnetic energy centers, and when they are aligned with one another, then you can magnetize what you really want. But whenever each and every one of them wants something completely different, then your manifestation is very wobbly. Then you manifest with detours. Let's put this into an example. Say your heart says, I long for romantic love. I just want this really romantic fairy tale experience of being swept off my feet. And your wisdom center between your eyebrows says, all I want is become enlightened by the end of that lifetime. I do not care whether the journey hurts or not. I just want to awaken, become enlightened, ascend, however you call it. All I want is spiritual growth, and whatever life brings me, as long as I grow from it, I accept. Rejection, betrayal, neglect, boredom, loneliness, anything. I take anything as long as I become enlightened. I don't need romance. I don't want to have fun. All I want is spiritual growth. And then let's say your power center below your belly button has this urge to become a parent and to procreate. And all that energy center wants is to magnetize a provider or a man who impregnates you rather sooner than later, rather yesterday than tomorrow. If these are your three realities, can you see how your manifestations could get a little wobbly? Can you see how all of a sudden you'd manifest this great guy who sweeps you off your feet for 2 weeks? Then the first time you have sex together, first ovulation you've got while you're with him, you get pregnant immediately. Next thing he leaves you and you've got a really rough journey ahead as a single mum with loads of spiritual growth. Can you see how these type of manifestations can come about? Can you see how some people manifest these type of experiences, but they don't know why it happened? They didn't want that on a conscious level. That's exactly why. You've got these different energy centers and they magnetize something very different. That's why some people can get very attracted to very different people, and then they get very confused. It's a bit like their heart is attracted to one person, their spiritual center, their third eye, is attracted to another person, and their center of power, their hara, their tantien, is attracted to a third person. And these three people have nothing in common. And the person at the other end of these three energy centers is completely confused. So the more clarity you gain on what's going on in these energy centers and on what you want on these different levels of your reality, the easier it becomes to take full responsibility for your creation, for what you magnetize into your life. Then you can't say, I don't know why this person showed up in my life. Then you can say, well, I did magnetize them for a reason. And then you can dig deep on the roots of these reasons. I'm Mary, and my suggestion is to align on an emotional, mental, physical, energetic and action level. That's the next step up after realizing whether or not you're aligned in these three main love centers. Once you've aligned in these three love centers, once you've made a conscious decision regarding what it is you really want, your manifestations will be much clearer. There's less pain, there's less confusion, and there's no sense of victimhood because you know where you were coming from when you magnetized that person. So the next step is centering yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically, and action-wise. Some people are misaligned in these 5 energy centers, and then nothing moves forward either. Some people are very identified with their emotional body, with their emotions, with their tears, with their fears, with feelings from the past still feeling real in the present. For example, you might have been burnt in the past. You might have had a very hurtful relationship where you've been betrayed, abandoned, rejected, judged, painful separation. And your emotional body holds on to a lot of fear that could ever repeat itself again. And if you forget that you're more than your emotional body, if you forget that you're this vast soul that's so much bigger than your fear, so much bigger than any other emotion, and that your emotional body with that fear is less than 1% of you. If you lose sight of that, you might experience life as if you were your emotions, and then you go round and round and round in circles, round and round and round in that fear. That emotional trap tends to be one that more women than men go for. The mental trap is more popular amongst guys. The mental trap is thinking round and round in circles. And you can't think your way out of your own thoughts. So if you're thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, without doing anything about it, likelihood is large that you'll be very, very, very stuck. So transforming your thoughts into actions, moving your thoughts from going round in circles into a linear forward movement can be very healthy and very helpful. So you can practically do that by making a step by step action plan. How can I transform all these thoughts into steps of action? First I do A, then I do B, then I do C. So the mental body lends itself to creating an action plan. Then you also want to be aligned physically. If you want an athlete with a dream body as a partner, but you've currently got 20 kilo too much, you're not in alignment with them. If you want a partner who is very, very healthy and you've got 17 different ailments, we do suggest to take care of them. Everyone magnetizes potential mates and partners on the same level as they are in these different bodies. So the healthier you are, the more buzzing and alive and radiant you are. That's what you magnetize, that's what you attract, that's what that magnetism draws in. You cannot magnetize anyone who is totally above and beyond your own vibration. Then we're looking into energy. If you're a person who's energetically tangled up with a lot of ex-partners, there's a huge likelihood that you're going to magnetize other people who are energetically just as tangled up as you are. If you carry a lot of baggage, so will your future partner. Also, if you experience an energy of, I feel very lonely, I feel lack of purpose and meaning in my life, you might think a partner is the perfect solution, yet then the partner is there and the honeymoon phase is over, and next thing you notice, I'm just as lonely as I was before, just as confused as I was before. Now I'm really lonely in my relationship. I'm with someone I thought that was the key to the answers to all my problems, but now I'm just as lonely as I was and had been, just by the side of someone. And that is when that sunset really hurts. It should be so beautiful. You'd prayed so much to be able to share that sunset with someone, but you were in a deep place of loneliness when you drew them into your life, so you're just as lonely when they're there. Just holding someone's hand, being just as lonely. So our suggestion is shift your internal loneliness into aloneness, into all oneness, into being all right with being alone. And then when your partner shows up, there is true companionship. Then there's true sharing and true meeting. But loneliness will not go away just because finally someone has shown up in your life. Also, the same applies to love. A lot of you want to magnetize a partner because they want to be loved. They're longing for love. There's no love in their lives. They feel so unloved. And some of you ask yourselves, why in my past relationship, why was there such little love? Why was it unreciprocated love? Why did I love them so much and they didn't love me back? Why was it so cold, so empty? Why was there such little love? I don't know. And you ask and you ask and you ask. And the reason is, when you magnetized that person, you had no love or very little love for yourselves just yet. And you hoped that someone else would love you, so you didn't have to do the job of loving yourselves. It was a subconscious shortcut. It's an intelligent plan. We can see why you thought that that sort of thing would work, but it doesn't. If there's no love when you're single, there won't be love. There won't be real love when you're with someone. Whether you're with someone or not, you've got to do the job to love yourself. Loving yourself is something that never stops. Loving yourself isn't a job description you can hand over to your partner. If you can't love yourself, they can't love you either. In fact, you can only let in as much love as you can give to yourself from another. If you can love yourself for 31% and your partner loves you 98%, you can only let in 31% of that partner's love. Not 32, not 31.5. It can't go in. You can't receive it. You'd block it. You'd push them away. And they'd feel like they run against a brick wall. So if you want to be really, really loved by a great person outside of yourself, it's got to start as an inside job. Otherwise you experience heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. So some of you have been abandoned a lot, betrayed a lot, left a lot, been left a lot for other people. That is because you did not have that love for yourselves. These ex-partners got very, very frustrated that they tried to love you, but it could not go in. Or they were on a level where they didn't know yet how to love you either. If you don't know how to love yourself, you can only attract someone who doesn't quite know how to do that job as well. So on the energetic layer, it's very important to cover all the aspects you'd want to receive from another outside of yourself by giving these to yourself first. And then your vibration will change. You'll start to glow. You'll start to be radiant. You'll start to be magnetic. When you start to love yourself in a frequency that attracts a high quality lover in the outside, all your friends will be asking you, hey, you look great. Did you just meet someone? Have you got a new person in your life? And that's when you know, right, I'm getting somewhere. I've upped my vibration. I'm loving myself so well that now I'm gonna attract a high quality lover. Some of you might think, oh no, it's too late for me. I've got a partner in my life. And sometimes they're not very loving to me. Or sometimes they are and I can't let it in. But I should have done the work before they got here. We're saying, no, it's never too late. Start loving yourself today, now, in this second, in this breath. And rather sooner than later, your dynamics with them will change, will become more loving, more natural, more fiery, more connected, more beautiful, more romantic, more how you've wanted it to be all along. And then for others of you, the energetic area isn't such an issue. For some of you, it's the layer of action. Some of you have their emotional body in place, their mental body, their physical body, their energetic body, and they think, why has my perfect mate still not arrived in my life? And to those of you, we have to say, it's about action. Take some action. Some people work on themselves very hard and they do great inner work every day. But we only one little thing they forget is, if you never ever go anywhere, if you never ever talk to anyone, that partner cannot easily show up. Someone would have to be very brave to just ring at your doorbell and assume that their perfect mate lives there. So for some of you, you're such spiritual beings, such spiritual people. You've thought of everything, you've covered everything, you've just forgotten one thing. You are in your ivory tower. No one sees you, no one finds you, no one knows you're there. You don't leave the house much, you don't go out, you don't talk to anyone. If you talk to anyone, you're looking down on the floor, you're too shy. So to those of you, we say, speak to ideally 3 new people a day. And if you live in a very small place and you think, no, there isn't 3 new people here, then make it 3 new people a week. And when you speak to new people, keep eye contact and keep engaging with them, keep connecting with them. Show them all the beautiful inner work you've done. Show them the years and years and years of polishing the jewel and of refinement that you've created in your life. And take some risks. The ones of you who need to shift on the layer of action, they want to play it safe. They want to be found by someone. They don't want to put themselves out there. We're saying, take a risk. Take the risk to get rejected. So what? Better be rejected 99 times and then find love the 100th time than never ever speak to anyone in the first place. Anyone, even the one who rejects you, has so much more respect for you for trying than for never ever taking any risks. And also, anyone will be flattered by your interest, even if they're already with someone and therefore can't be with you, even if for whatever reason it's not a good match. No one has ever taken it badly to have been fancied by another in a tasteful way. So at the worst, you're giving another a great compliment. Give them that compliment. Take the risk to make a fool of yourself. One aspect of magnetizing greatness is the courage of taking the risk to be a fool for love. You've got nothing to lose and everything to win. And to give yourself that freedom is the greatest gift you could ever gift to yourself. Often, loads of us, angels, ascended masters, we are overlighting people's transitions from the world of the living to the world of the other side. And the greatest regrets people share with us are the regrets of, I've not taken enough risks, I've not been bold enough, I've not given what I could to find love. And the saddest ones amongst them are the ones who've been so guarded and so self-protected that they never allowed love into their lives. And we ask you to allow imperfect love into your lives. Some of you are in situations where you're with a perfectly imperfect partner. And you're thinking, well, you're talking about magnetizing a perfect partner. My one is so very, very imperfect. They've got 159 things that could be better. We're saying, be vulnerable for that imperfect love and redefine perfection. When we're being asked, what is a perfect partner? We're saying, your perfect partner is so different to any idea you had of them before they first showed up in your life. Many people come to us with a big manifestation list, and their perfect mate has to tick these boxes. And then we always lovingly chuckle when we see who they finally fall in love with. And often that person couldn't be further from their original list of perfect points. Your perfect person is going to challenge you on where you are. Your perfect person is many of the things you didn't want, because otherwise you'd have the same blind spots, and if they're the same blind spots, you're not gonna grow. And most people who are on their spiritual path of growth and who come to us, to Ascended Masters, asking about these things, you have asked to grow. You have asked to wake up. You have asked to find ascension, enlightenment, something along these lines. So you're all in line for the more challenging partners. Most of you haven't asked to just have a nice life and nothing ever happens and challenges only happen in TV. That's not what you guys want. So if you asked us to describe your ideal partner, they're gonna be somewhat challenging. Challenging in a loving and very sweet way, but challenging. That's one way of recognizing them. You're gonna be stretched. You're gonna be asked to grow. That's very, very important. I'm Mary, and I'd like to ask you, in what stage, in what area do you get stuck and stumble? Is it the emotional area, your mental body, the physical body, any of your energy bodies, or not taking any action, or the wrong action, or too safe action, or not enough action? Intuitively, instinctively, you'll know the answer to the question. Your first intuitive response is the one that's true. And some of you thought, oh, most of them, all of them, and that's okay too. I'd like to suggest to you, promise yourself now to do at least one specific change. I'm going to make at least this one change in my life from today. Don't do 12 changes, because then you'll be overwhelmed and won't do them. One change. Something that comes to mind now, easily, effortlessly. Something that could be quite fun. What is the change you are going to make to magnetize your ideal partner? Just let that inspiration come up naturally. And if nothing comes up this moment, then just take a little note and ask yourself that question again after this channeling, once you've had time to contemplate it. What's the one change? Because many spiritual people think all I've got to do is pray and meditate and then things are changing. But no matter how spiritual you are, it always requires transformational conscious action. First, you change your inner world to change your energy, your magnetism, what you put out, and then you do things differently outside to match your new vibration. It's always an internal and then an external job. People who just do external change get exhausted, burnt out and disillusioned, and people who only change on the inside get stuck. That's what often happens. And it's easier to first do the inner change, to first have the awareness and the clarity, and once you've done that inner growth, then you take your steps of action. These two want to go together. For a lot of people, disconnect happens when they do too much on the inside and too little on the outside, or vice versa. Too much outer work leads to burnout and frustration. Too much inner work leads to stagnation. That's to sum it up in a nutshell. before we'll invite a few questions, let's look at where you're at. Are you in the stage where you never ever meet anyone? Or are you in the stage where you meet people, but then they never want to meet again? Are you in the stage where they leave after a first significant event? Perhaps they leave after the first kiss, or after the first time you've been to bed together, or after the first argument. Is there a pattern to that? Are you being left in early stages? And if so, when specifically? What strategies do you want to choose to change that? What energy do you send out? What double message? Where are you misaligned? Or perhaps for you it's different. Perhaps you're with someone, but that disconnect still happens, that magnetism still goes. And that can lead you to a similar reflection. What do I wish to change? Emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically, or action-wise. Finding out where your block is can shift these dynamics, or noticing what stage you're in, what stage the stumbling blocks are. Perhaps you only know I'm alone and I don't know why. So up to what stage do you get to? If you never meet anyone, we'd suggest go out and talk to people, whatever it takes. And make some mistakes doing that, but meet them no matter what. Go out 3 times a week minimum. Or if you meet them, but they don't want to meet again, we'd suggest to ask your best friends, why do you think that is? What do I do wrong? I won't be offended, I won't cancel the friendship, just tell me. Your friends know. They're just too kind, too compassionate, too caring to lose you, to say it. But ask them. Or witness yourself. What did I do? What did I say? What kind of jokes did I make? What kind of energy did I send out? Before they never spoke to me again, before they disappeared. What did I do before they disappeared? Do some deep soul searching. That deep honesty can hurt, but it can transform and change everything. Or if you're always being left after a particular thing, examine that. Zoom in, like with a magnifying glass. Look at these painful moments really, really closely and be really honest with yourself. And if you get stuck, you can ask a coach, a friend, or you can ask an angel, an ascended master, a guide, and we can look into the situation and tell you. Sometimes there are blind spots and people say, I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. And then someone else can tell you and enlighten you, and you can make these changes. We're here to say there are thousands, tens of thousands of opportunities out there for everyone. And that's precisely why you need to know what you want. The more you know that, the less you attract just kind of what you want, just anything. The more you're aligned, you'll attract what you want. And some of what we've been going through today can greatly assist you in that alignment. I'm Magdalene. I thank you so much for your attention, And now I would love to look into some of your questions. So, our first question for today, let's take a question in writing. Just trying to find it. It was a question someone sent in before the webinar, just before we started. I can't find the email right now, but I remember the question. It was from a lady who said she'd been married for a long, long time, and there wasn't much love in that relationship. And then finally they broke up, and she's now wondering what she can do to trust love again, to find love again, to have that courage and confidence to be out there again and allow love and look for love. So I'll ask Mary Magdalene for her answer, for her perspective to that. I'm Mary Magdalene, and I send you so much love. You're such a brave and courageous woman. You love so fiercely with all of your heart. And I'm here to tell you, you will not be disappointed by love. You will find that love in this lifetime. You absolutely will, because you're willing to not just go the extra mile, you're willing to go the extra hundreds, thousands of miles. You're one of these people who do anything for love. You're a fiery woman, and when you find someone who you feel that connection with, there's nothing you wouldn't do. You're gonna make it happen. You're gonna make it work. You've taken your time to lick your wounds, to recover, to recharge your energy, and you've got our respect for that. So many people rush from relationship to relationship to seek something outside of themselves that can only be found within. And after that breakup, you've promised yourself, I'm going to find it within first. I'm going to find it on my spiritual journey, and then that will be met outside of me with the beloved. And so it will be. And when you first attracted your mate, your ex-husband, you were in a place of insecurity. You were in a place where you hadn't found that love for yourself just yet, where you wanted another to love you because you had no idea how to love yourself. You had no idea that you were supposed to do that. No one had told you that. You didn't know. People aren't told these things. You figure it out as you go along. It takes decades. So you didn't know. You did your best. You did what people around you did. Find a man, get married. That seemed the obvious. If someone longed for love, and you had a soul contract with that man to meet, to have your beautiful children, everything went according to plan. You were on track, and he gave you as much love as you were capable of allowing, as you were capable of letting in. Now you've grown so much, you've transformed so much, you've become a different woman, and now you can let in so much more love. And the frequency of love you will magnetize will be so different simply because you have changed. You're not who you used to be. There was nothing wrong with you. You were adorable, you were lovable all along, but you had not learned how to love yourself. And now you've taken the steps, and you're starting to really, really know that. And you're asking yourself all the right questions, and you're taking transformational steps. You're on a journey of love, and your quest will be answered. And Mary Magdalene, and I embrace you with much love. Okay, we've got our next question here. It says, "Hi Rhiannon, I met you 5 years ago when I was undergoing chemo treatment and discovered via channeling Mary that I didn't have to be in pain in order to grow or to experience love and gratitude. I'm in full and complete remission now." Congratulations, that's great news. "You always said I was going to get better, and here I am. I can't make the call on Sunday, but I'd very much like to hear what Mary has to say to me. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon." Thanks for that message, and I'm always totally delighted to hear when people are well again. That's so great to read. So I'll see what Mary wants to say. "I'm Mary Magdalene. Congratulations, you've mastered that area of your life. Disease and cancer are always connected to some absence of self-love. So very much like the previous lady, for you also, loving self had been absent in your life. So your soul lovingly gifted you with a terrifying and scary and excruciatingly painful experience of dis-ease in order to find ease. You've learned to love yourself. You've learned it the hard way. You've learned as you were on this healing journey. Now that you've learned to love yourself, allowing love in from another is your next step. It's the next stage of your journey. Your healing is such an accomplishment. It's a miracle. It's an achievement. That was the hardest thing you had to do in this lifetime. Now it's time for fun, time to play, time to love and be loved, time to receive, time to enjoy. And you're glowing, you're radiant after such a success. You're magnetic. Your energy is in the right place to magnetize love. Your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, it's all there, you've got it. Now with you, we're looking at the level of action. Be met, go out, have eye contact, talk to people, speak to people. They need to know how amazing you are. They need to know. You're very private, a little bit quiet, so be out there and receive thousands of forms of love. Also the love of many brothers and sisters and friends who simply want to adore you. Both is very strong to be seen in your energy field. Both the friendship type of love as well as the romantic love, passionate love. So many flavors of love are right here, right in your field. And it's your time to harvest all of that. It's your time to be rewarded. You had a very serious time in your life. You had years of seriousness and treatment and suffering and fear. And now there's a turning point, and it's about love and celebration. And that's very much what we see for you next. And we thank you for your question. Okay, I'm looking at another question. The next question is, I seem to go through internal trauma with social anxiety When I see a man I'm attracted to and go into knots, I can't make initial contact. It's built up for years and seems a powerful block in my life. What can I do about this? I feel stuck. And Mary Magdalene, thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much for your self-awareness. It takes great courage to admit all of what you said with such clarity. Courage is only present where fear is. You can only be a courageous woman because there's fear. You've got great courage. What you're describing goes on for a lot of people. It's important to know that you're not alone with this. Some experience it 10%, other 50%, 60%, 70%. You experience it more than a lot of people. But that doesn't mean that you cannot get over it and through it. Things have happened to you in your past. Painful things, painful experiences. And other people were involved with that. When trauma is present that's been caused by other people, that type of trauma can only be undone and healed in the presence of other people. So we're asking you to have some people in your life, people whom you trust, to heal that trauma with. We're asking you to take gentle steps towards being comfortable in the presence of men who you're attracted to. You could make a 25-step action plan. Today you're doing this, tomorrow you're doing that, and it's always like 4% more challenging till you're on 100% challenge, and there you are with your perfect man. So take little steps, and then these get bigger. Your first step might be, the first time from now on that I meet a man who I'm attracted to, I won't run away, I won't leave the room, I'll stay there. I won't look at him, I won't say anything, I won't admit I'm attracted, no one will find out, I'm going to talk to someone else, but I'm going to stay there. That's step one. Step two might be, I'll look over every once in a while and then I look away again. Step three might be, I hold eye contact for a whole second. Next step might be, next time it's going to be 3 seconds. And then you might say hello to him. You might say nothing, just hi. And he says hello back, and that's it. And you can be so proud of yourself. And the next step is, you could ask him how he is, how his day went, how he's enjoying the party. Just a little question, a little bit of conversation. And then the next step, another time, you might tell him something about yourself. Something really random, something really short. But you've started to open up. You started to give him some information about yourself. And then you go up and up and up and further and further and further up that mountain till you're in a full-on conversation, until he asks you for your phone number and you're arranging to meet again in a few days. And then it goes from there, step by step by step by step. And as you're going through these stages, it might not always work. You might blush, you might stumble across your lines. They might not want to talk to you. So expect some disappointment. Expect that some of these challenges will go well and some will need repetition. So we'd love to see you going to loads of places with loads of attractive men so you can practice a lot. How about you challenge yourself to take yourself to these places rather frequently? How about you ask some of your friends to make sure they invite you out enough so you're out and about to practice? How about you tell some of your friends of what you're experiencing? And perhaps additionally, on top of these external steps, you might want to take some internal steps, such as perhaps you might want to see an energy healer and have some energetic healing sessions. Perhaps you might want to do a healing group where there is a safe space of a small group of people who are all experiencing similar things and you're working through it. Perhaps you do some exercises together, some practices. Perhaps there's some very deep sharing. Perhaps you say some things you've never said before. You might want to approach this inside with deep healing, as well as outside, in the world, in life. But what we want to point out to you is that it's very, very, very important that you approach it in the outer world as well. Some people would do years of therapy, but no change in the realm of action. And that can be really frustrating, that nothing shifts and nothing changes. You're a very courageous woman, and you're ready to jump into these encounters now. There's no need to wait. You're ready for the stages of eye contact and communication. Feel your beating heart, feel how it's pounding, feel your knees shaking, the butterflies in your tummy. All of that is part of being alive. All of that is a good amount of stage fever. And we're here to say to all of you, if in life you're never nervous, if you're never scared to fail, if you're never scared that anything could go wrong, then you're not challenging yourself enough. Then you're not quite living life to the fullest. So if there's no butterflies ever, no fear ever, no, oh my God, this is too much for me, then we're asking all of you to live it up a little more. I'm Mary, and I thank you for your questions. Okay, the next question. What can be the reason of finding partners with jealousy issues? I'm Mary Magdalene. Okay. If you attract partner after partner who has issues with jealousy, often the magnetic resonance with jealousy is internal insecurity. You've got an insecurity there, and your partner mirrors that to you. Often when one partner is jealous, a very similar theme goes on for the other. If you attract jealous partners, deep down you're scared to be betrayed, to be left for another. Deep down you might be insecure that you're not pretty enough, not good enough, not attractive enough, not handsome enough, somehow not enough. And if one of the two of you is jealous, that energy is present for both of you. So both partners might have a fear of losing the other to someone who might seem a better catch. If you're attracting jealous partners, work on your insecurity, work on your sense of worth, work on the question, do I feel good enough for my partner? Or do I feel that they could dump me at any random street corner? When there's jealousy in a relationship, often what's needed is intimate conversation along the lines of, you mean a lot to me, or what do I mean to you, or why are we with one another? You could do something very romantic where you take turns in telling each other what you love about each other and why you're with each other and why the other one is so special to you that no one else could top that. And that will give you both a lot more security in the relationship. When there's a lot of guessing going on, well, they might be with me because, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. There's a lot of insecurity and then a lot of reason for jealousy. So more expression of love, of respect, that can give you both a platform of feeling secure with one another. And then jealousy can just dissolve and be transformed into trust. I'm Mary Magdalene. I thank you for your question. Just looking for the next question. Okay, the next question is, I came out of a long relationship 3 years ago and decided I wanted to have a new relationship with one that wanted family and children, but also wanting to find my soulmate. 2 years ago I found my soulmate, and I'm at the moment in this very good and spiritual relationship. But he's not ready for children, and I'm afraid we won't have it, and wonder whether I can live with this. But I love him. The reason we maybe won't do it is because... Hold on, I've lost my line. It's a long message. Is because of my age. I'm older than him. I'm just... Oh no, it's the next person. Yeah. Okay, let's look into this question. I'm Mary Magdalene. And you're feeling some pressure there. It's great pressure. A bit torn between two desires. You love this man, you found your soulmate, and you also desire to be a mother. It's very much what we talked about in the initial words. These 3 energy centers, wanting different things. Your heart and spiritual center very much magnetized your soulmate. And the 3rd center, the power center, said, I don't care about anything. I just want to be a mother. It's your instinct. It's a deep urge. And so these 3 power centers, they're currently not aligned. And that's okay. Lots of people are not totally aligned in these 3 power centers. It's part of being human. You want different things on different levels. So the first step I'd suggest to you is to channel these 3 power centers and to give them space to express themselves. To put your hands on your forehead, focus on your thoughts, and express everything that's there about love and relationship and what you want. Express everything about your soulmate and about having kids and everything that's there in your head. Then when no words flow anymore, you put your hands onto your heart, tune into your heart and do the same thing. Let it all flow out. No more words left. Then you move your hands to the final position, to your belly button area and just below to your womb space. And channel your womb. What does your womb say? What does your womb want? And do that every once in a while and see what shifts in your priorities and in your reality. And take yourself away for a few days. Feel your truth when you're not next to him. Feel what you really want. Feel your priorities. Feel your priorities. You can merge with him so much that it's easy to feel more connected to him and his needs and wants than to yours. You're very merged with him because you're so soulfully connected. Take time to regularly unmerge, to be just in your energy. What we mean is, let's say your energy field is yellow, his is blue. You're really green a lot of the time, and you're using that yellow energy, that yellow vibration that really suits you, that is you. It's lovely to be green, it's lovely to merge, it's lovely to become a new energy because you're so close to your soulmate. But it's healthy and necessary to fully return back into your energy, to know what you want and who you are. Do that frequently. Fully unmerge, fully come back to self, fully take all your energy back and focus on his energy returning to him. And depending on where your priorities are, you could align with your soul and say, I surrender, I let go, guide me. If I'm meant to be a mother, and if that's not meant to happen with this partner, make it clear to me and guide me towards the father of my child. And if this relationship is more important than being a mother, please make it clear to me. No one else shows up who I'd ever envision a family with. So I'll let you decide. I walk whatever is my soul's truth. And be honest with your partner. Be radically honest. Tell him how much it means to you to have a child, how much it means to you to be a mother. Be really transparent, first with self and then with your partner. And Mary Magdalene, thank you for your question with love. Okay, let's do one final question for tonight. And then, as I said, we'll have our next channeling evening in this format on Thursday the 21st at the same time. And then everyone is welcome to join again. And then some other ones who haven't been able to ask today are welcome to ask questions. So the final question of tonight is, I'm wondering if there's a conflict between my love centers. Raising my consciousness is a priority, and I think I would like a mate that shares that interest, but my life has been low on fun in the past few years. So lately I've been feeling that I just want to have fun with someone special. What is the best path for me to find lasting love? I'm Mary Magdalene, and raising your consciousness can be a lot of fun. So you don't have to do one or the other. How about you put it out there? I want a mate who I can raise my consciousness with in a really fun way. I want to meet someone special who's on a spiritual path, who can share that spiritual path with me, and both of us are raising our consciousness together. Could that be the best path for you to find lasting love? To know that both is possible? That's what ideally all of you would do. You'd connect with all three main energy centers and find something that works for all three centers. If you want to raise your consciousness and you want to have fun, you can combine that. And about your other question, what's the best path for you to find lasting love? The best path for you to find lasting love is to not attach to the fear that it might not last. The moment you identify with the fear that you might lose that love again, the moment that happens, it's the beginning of the end, when you cling to it. It's just like meditating, thinking no thoughts. You're in meditation, you're thinking no thoughts, you're feeling really good. All of a sudden you're thinking, wow, that feels really good, I love it. I never ever want to leave that space again. It feels so good. I want to always be here. I don't want to start thinking again. Oh my God, I'm thinking. Oh no, I'm losing it. I'm thinking some more. Oh no, where was I? The meditation was so good, I wasn't thinking anything. Now there's all these thoughts and you've lost it. And with lasting love, it's like, oh my God, I'm so in love. It's so easy. It's so effortless. It's so beautiful. Oh my God, I'm going to be heartbroken once it's over, once it's not lasting, once he doesn't love me anymore. That can be the beginning of the end. My suggestion to you would be, focus every day you share with him on that one day. And that one day can stretch into eternity. And that way you have lasting love. Living in fear of losing love can make lasting love a prison, agony, painful. Imagine you found lasting love, but every day of your life, till your last breath, you're in fear of losing him. You're in fear that a more beautiful woman will come along, a younger woman will come along, a better woman, a more intelligent, more spiritual, more something, and she will steal him away. That would be hell on earth then you'd probably pray, God, take him away from me. I can't live in so much fear. I am so scared to lose my lasting love. Can you see how the attachment to that can create hell on earth for you? How about, I love from breath to breath. In this breath, I love him. Let's see if I love him in the next breath. Oh, great. Next breath, I still love him. There he is, breathing. In this breath, it looks like he loves me, feeling fairly secure, looks pretty loving. Let's see how it goes in the next breath. Can you be playful with it? Can you have fun with it? If you cling to, it's got to be that way, it's got to last. It's hard to have fun. And playing with it in this way can raise your consciousness. Because your consciousness is being raised when you're having fun, when you're playing, when you're light-hearted. And the vibration of your consciousness goes down, 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 down when you're in fear, when you're scared of losing that love. And fear is the very opposite of love. And when you're living in that fear, you are losing radiance. You're less magnetic. Fearing the loss of him is the very opposite of magnetizing him. That's when you repel him. And when you're even scared of losing him before you've met him, that's when you really repel him. That's when he can't show up, because you're so scared that it's not going to last again, but it's going to hurt again. So make it about this one day. We're going to have a great day together. Maybe we'll break up tonight, but we'll have a great day. And it's been so much fun that day. Why would he leave you? He wants another great day tomorrow. And another great day tomorrow. And another great day tomorrow. And there's always this other tomorrow ahead that's just going to be so much fun. Because you're not clinging to the idea of it lasting. And you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary just for today. You know, we might break up tomorrow, but it's been 10 years. And every day has been pretty good. Yeah, we've argued and it's not always been harmonious, but the one day at a time approach was all right. Can you do it that way? Can you have lasting love just for today? If he's really annoying, you could say, well, I'm only hanging in here just for today. You can always break up with him tomorrow if he's really irritating. Otherwise, you set yourself up for that prayer that we began the evening with. You're in the sunset, and when you're on your own, you pray, please send me my man. And then he's there, and he's really annoying, and you think, oh my God, I asked for lasting love. Please take him away. And if you think, well, if he's really irritating, it's just about today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. I'm just going to do one breath at a time. Okay? When I'm not thinking he might be still as annoying in the future, I can deal with this. And then you're so much more fun. Then your vibration goes up. Then your consciousness is of a much higher vibration. And then you're so magnetic that he's a lot less annoying. And today was really good. So you might think, okay, let's put up with him again tomorrow. I'm Mary Magdalene. That's my suggestion on how to create lasting love. Make it last just for today. And you can play that game for decades and have fun and be really light-hearted with it. I'm Mary Magdalene. I thank you very, very much for your question. And I'm with you with love. I'm Mary Magdalene. I thank all of you for your questions, for your energy, for your presence. There's always more questions than time, but I've been connecting with all of you, speaking with all of you, and some of these messages We're always for many more than one person. So even though we couldn't cover everything in one evening, we've covered some things, and I'm very much looking forward to speaking to you again in the near future. And I'm with you with much love. And I'll step back from the channel now, and I enjoyed you all tremendously. Much love, Mary Magdalene.